Hey YouTube, this is Wrestling Spark Fan 62. Here is my overall thoughts on TNA on AMC debut. Now, there were a lot of other people who had mixed opinions on this show. I will say this. This is the first time in a while TNA has been on a channel like that. But the show itself felt like it needed work. I will say this. I get, some stuff probably had to get rewritten because of visa issues and all of that. So that I totally get. But it's one of those things where I guess they just found out about this at the last minute and whatever. So now AJ Styles kicked off the show. I am surprised they didn't use his WWE theme. But I get it. And so later in the show, we get to the women's tag titles. This is where some of the show takes a turn. So you have the Elegance brand segment. And oh boy. While it was a good idea on paper, the way they did it didn't really execute that well. And it needed work. That's all I'm going to say on that. Also, not long after the AJ Styles segment, we get to Santino Marella in the ring. And the thing I love that they did was they brought up his issues with his daughter, and Stacks and all of that, and what happened last month in the steel cage match. So he's like, okay, I basically need somebody to help me out. With my mind not being here, I got other stuff on my mind right now. I need some help. And the board has hired somebody to help me with this. So he brought out Daria's, I forgot her name. I know it was Daria. If you don't know who this person is, this used to be Sonya Deville in WWE. And I loved how with her, she did the 180. So she started out as a face and basically was like, thank you and all of this. And then she turned into that sadistic heel authority figure. And he was like, she's like, the problem is you. And, they need leadership. They need somebody to kick them in the butt and all of that stuff. So that's one thing that I like that they did. So she's like, oh, before I forget, I hired the Noose Knockout. Out comes Elena Black, formerly known as Cora Jade in WWE. And she did her pose and all of that. And that was something I didn't see coming. But glad she's back in it. I'm curious what they'll do with her going forward. And I can honestly start seeing a lot more former WWE stars coming in with Daria's power. Now, I will say this. The best thing on the show was the main event between Frankie Kazarian and Mike Santana. That was a cool match. Apparently, they have a rematch this Saturday at Rebellion. Apparently, it's a Texas death match. It's interesting that even though I guess they're partnered with WWE, they're allowing it, but at the same time, I guess WWE can't really control that sort of thing. But with them, I guess, starting to get more and more sponsors, apparently I see those type of matches going away. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the system. So I forgot his name, but he used to be Fandango in WWE a long time ago. Apparently, after Genesis on Saturday, he is retiring, and not just, like, apparently it's for good. I'm sure he'll still stick around and do all this wild shenanigans, but I am curious on what they're going to do with him. And so next week they're supposed to have the newest person to the system. So we're going to have to see how that goes. So to wrap this video up, TNA on AMC had its good moments and its bad moments. I say give it time and it will proceed.